They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But mine was served at exactly 98.6 degrees, the temperature of my burning rage when I walked out of Meridian Financial Solutions for the last time. 3 days. 3 measly days before my promotion to senior account manager would have kicked in, along with that beautiful $50,000 raise I'd been working toward for 2 years. But Marcus Hendricks, my snake of a boss, had other plans. My name is Jessica Martinez, and I'm about to tell you how I turned the worst day of my professional life into the sweetest victory I've ever tasted. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I was sitting in my cubicle, reviewing the quarterly reports for our biggest clients, when Marcus's assistant knocked on my desk. "He wants to see you," she said, her voice unusually quiet. "Conference room B." I should have known something was wrong when I saw the HR representative sitting there with her manila folder and that practiced look of corporate sympathy. Marcus didn't even have the decency to look me in the eye as he delivered the news. "Jessica, we're going to have to let you go," he said, his fingers drumming against the mahogany table. "Budget cuts. Nothing personal." Nothing personal. The phrase echoed in my head as I stared at him. This man who had taken credit for my innovative client retention strategies for the past 18 months. This man who had promised me that senior account manager position after I single-handedly saved the Patterson Industries account, a client worth $2.3 million annually to our firm. "But my promotion," I managed to say, my voice steadier than I felt. "It's scheduled for Friday." Marcus shrugged, finally meeting my eyes with that cold, calculating look I'd grown to despise. "Company restructuring. These things happen." The HR representative slid a severance package across the table. 2 weeks' pay and a non-compete clause that would prevent me from working with any Meridian clients for 6 months. I signed it because I needed the money. But as I walked back to my desk to pack my belongings, my mind was already racing with possibilities. You see, Marcus had made one crucial mistake. In his arrogance, he'd forgotten that I wasn't just another disposable employee. I was the one who had built personal relationships with our top clients. I was the one they called when they had problems. Not him. I was the one who remembered their kids' names, their anniversaries, their business challenges. And Marcus had just thrown all of that away. The next morning, I did what any rational person would do. I went to a coffee shop 3 blocks from the office and made some phone calls. The first was to Tom Peterson, CEO of Peterson Industries, our biggest client, worth $4.2 million in annual revenue. "Tom, it's Jessica Martinez from Meridian. I have some news I wanted to share with you personally." "Jessica, great to hear from you. How are those market projections coming along?" "Well, that's actually what I'm calling about. I'm no longer with Meridian as of yesterday. And I wanted to make sure you were aware before the transition." There was a pause on the other end. "Wait, what? They let you go? But you're the only one there who understands our portfolio." "I know. And I'm sorry for any inconvenience this might cause. I just wanted to give you a heads up." "This is ridiculous. Jessica, you've been managing our account for 2 years. You saved us a fortune with that tax strategy restructuring last year. Who's going to handle our account now?" I took a sip of my coffee, keeping my voice professionally neutral. "I believe they're planning to assign it to Marcus Hendricks directly." Another pause. Longer this time. "The guy who doesn't return my calls?" "Jessica, I'm going to be honest with you. Peterson Industries has been considering making some changes to our financial management. We've been looking at smaller, more personalized firms. If you were to, hypothetically, start your own practice, would you be interested in discussing our account?" My heart started racing, but I kept my voice calm. "Well, Tom, I do have a 6-month non-compete clause with Meridian, but hypothetically speaking, if I were to start my own practice after that period, I'd certainly be interested in discussing how I could better serve your needs." 6 months, Tom mused. "That's not too long. And honestly, Jessica, I'm not sure we want to stay with Meridian if you're not there. Let me ask you something. When does your non-compete expire exactly?" "September 15th. "Perfect. I'll tell you what. Peterson Industries has been meaning to review our financial advisory relationship anyway. We'll give Meridian until September 16th to prove they can handle our account without you. If they can't, he let the implication hang in the air. After I hung up, I sat back in my chair and smiled for the first time in 24 hours. But Tom was just the beginning. My second call was to Maria Santos, the CFO of Santos Manufacturing, a $1.8 million account I'd landed for Meridian just 8 months ago. Maria and I had developed a strong working relationship. She was a fellow Latina who had climbed the corporate ladder in a male-dominated industry, and we'd bonded over our shared experiences. Maria, it's Jessica. I have some unfortunate news to share. Oh no, what's wrong? I'm no longer with Meridian. They terminated my employment yesterday. They what? Jessica, you're joking. You're the best financial advisor we've ever worked with. What happened? Budget cuts, apparently. But I wanted to call you personally to make sure you were aware of the situation. This is unbelievable. You've increased our profit margins by 23% since you started working with us. Who's going to handle our account now? I'm not entirely sure, but I believe they'll assign someone from their existing team. Someone who doesn't know our business like you do? Jessica, this is a problem, a big problem. We trusted you, not Meridian. You understand our industry, our challenges, our goals. Some random person isn't going to be able to step in and provide the same level of service. I could hear the frustration in her voice, and I felt a twinge of guilt. But then I remembered Marcus's smug face as he fired me 3 days before my raise. And the guilt evaporated. I understand your concerns, Maria. And I want you to know that if there's anything I can do to help with the transition, within legal bounds, of course, I'm happy to assist. Actually, Jessica, let me ask you something. Are you planning to continue in financial advisory services? I'm considering my options. I do have a non-compete clause that prevents me from working with Meridian clients for 6 months. But after that... 6 months, Maria repeated. You know what? I think Santos Manufacturing needs to take a hard look at whether Meridian is the right fit for us going forward. We'll see how they handle our account without you. And then we'll make some decisions. The third call was to David Chen. No relation to any of those other Chens, the founder of Chen Tech Solutions. David was a brilliant engineer who had built his company from nothing into a $2.1 million operation. But he was notoriously impatient with financial advisors who couldn't keep up with his rapid-fire decision-making style. I was the first advisor who had ever managed to not only keep up with him, but actually anticipate his needs. David, it's Jessica Martinez from Meridian. I have some news I wanted to share with you. Jessica, perfect timing. I was just about to call you about the Q2 projections. Did you get a chance to review the numbers I sent over? Actually, David, that's what I'm calling about. I'm no longer with Meridian as of yesterday, so I won't be able to complete that review. Wait, what do you mean you're no longer with Meridian? Did you get a better offer somewhere? Not exactly. They terminated my employment. They fired you? Are you kidding me? Jessica, you're the only financial advisor I've ever worked with who actually gets it. You understand tech companies, you understand growth curves, you understand the cash flow challenges we face. This is insane. I appreciate that. David, I really enjoyed working with you and helping Chen Tech Solutions grow. Enjoyed? Past tense? Jessica, who's going to handle our account now? I'm not sure, but I'm confident they'll assign someone qualified from their team. Someone qualified? David's voice rose. Jessica, do you know how many financial advisors I went through before I found you? 7. 7 different people who either didn't understand my business or couldn't keep up with the pace. You're the first one who actually helped us optimize our financial strategy instead of just managing our books. I'm sorry, David. I wish the situation were different. You know what? Maybe it should be different. Jessica, I'm going to be straight with you. Chen Tech Solutions has been growing faster than we ever imagined. We've been considering bringing our financial advisory services in-house, but we've also been looking at smaller, more specialized firms. If you ever decide to start your own practice, I want to be your first call. I appreciate that, David, but I do have a non-compete clause. How long? 6 months. 6 months I can wait. Jessica, I'm serious. Meridian just made the biggest mistake of their corporate lives. When your non-compete expires, call me. We'll be ready to move. By the time I made my fourth call, I was starting to feel a familiar sensation. The same rush I used to get when I was closing a big deal. But this time, I was the product being sold. Jennifer Walsh, the CEO of Walsh Consulting, was a tough negotiator who had built her company into a $1.5 million operation through sheer determination and smart financial decisions. She was also someone who valued loyalty and personal relationships above corporate structures. Jennifer, it's Jessica Martinez from Meridian Financial. I have some news I wanted to share with you personally. Jessica, wonderful to hear from you. I was just reviewing the investment strategy you put together for us last month. Brilliant work, as always. Thank you, Jennifer. That means a lot. Especially since I'm no longer with Meridian as of yesterday. I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm no longer with Meridian. They terminated my employment. They fired you? Jessica, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You've been phenomenal to work with. Professional, knowledgeable, responsive. What were they thinking? Budget cuts, apparently. Budget cuts? They fired their best advisor for budget cuts? Jessica, this is absurd. You've probably saved Walsh Consulting more money than they pay you in a year. I appreciate you saying that, Jennifer. I'm not just saying it, it's true. Look, I'm going to be frank with you. Walsh Consulting has been considering some changes to our financial advisory relationship. We've been growing rapidly, and we need advisors who can grow with us. You've proven you can do that. Meridian as a company? She paused. Well, let's just say they haven't impressed me the way you have. I understand your concerns. I'm sure they'll assign someone qualified to handle your account. Someone qualified isn't good enough. Jessica, I need someone exceptional. Someone who understands my business and my vision. Someone like you. She paused again. Are you planning to continue in financial advisory services? I'm exploring my options. I do have a 6-month non-compete clause, but after that, I'm free to pursue new opportunities. 6 months, Jennifer mused. You know what? I think Walsh Consulting needs to take a step back and evaluate whether Meridian is meeting our needs. We'll see how they handle our account without you. And then we'll make some decisions about our future. The fifth call was the most satisfying one of all. Richard Blackwood, the president of Blackwood Properties, was a client I'd inherited from another advisor who had left Meridian the previous year. Richard was known for being demanding and detail-oriented, but he was also incredibly loyal to people who earned his trust. It had taken me months to build that trust, but once I had it, he became one of my biggest advocates. Richard, it's Jessica Martinez from Meridian. I have some news I wanted to share with you. Jessica, I was just about to call you. I got the market analysis you sent over yesterday. Excellent work, as always. You really understand the real estate market. Thank you, Richard. That means a lot, especially since I'm no longer with Meridian as of yesterday. What? You're leaving Meridian? Where are you going? I'm not going anywhere yet. They terminated my employment. They fired you? Jessica, that's the stupidest decision I've ever heard. You're the best financial advisor I've worked with in 20 years of business. What's their reasoning? Budget cuts. Budget cuts? They're cutting their best people for budget reasons. That's not cost cutting. That's sabotage. Jessica, this is unbelievable. You've been managing the Blackwood Properties account for over a year. You know our portfolio inside and out. You understand the real estate market. You've helped us navigate some complex transactions. Who's going to handle our account now? I'm not sure, but I'm confident they'll assign someone from their existing team. Someone from their existing team? Jessica, no offense to your colleagues, but you're the only one there who really gets real estate. The rest of them are generalists. We need a specialist. I understand your concerns, Richard. My concerns? Jessica, this goes way beyond concerns. This is about trust. I trusted you with some of our most important financial decisions. I don't trust Meridian as a company. I trusted you as a professional. And now they're telling me I have to work with someone else, someone who doesn't know our business. I'm sorry, Richard. I wish the situation were different. Maybe it should be different. Jessica, let me ask you something. Are you planning to continue in financial advisory services? I'm considering my options. I do have a non-compete clause that prevents me from working with Meridian clients for 6 months. 6 months? That's nothing. Jessica, I'm going to be straight with you. Blackwood Properties has been considering consolidating our financial advisory services. We work with several firms, but we've been thinking about finding one advisor who can handle everything. Someone we trust completely. Someone like you. I appreciate that, Richard, but no buts. Jessica, when your non-compete expires, I want to talk to you about handling all of Blackwood Properties' financial advisory needs. Not just the portfolio we have with Meridian, but everything. We're talking about a significant expansion of services. By the time I hung up from that 5th call, I was practically vibrating with anticipation. 5 clients, representing nearly $12 million in annual revenue for Meridian, and all of them expressing serious doubts about continuing their relationship with the company now that I was gone. But I wasn't done yet. Over the next few days, I made additional calls to smaller clients, not to poach them directly, but to inform them of the situation and ensure they were prepared for the transition. Word traveled fast in the financial services industry, and soon I was getting calls from clients I hadn't even contacted yet. The beautiful thing about the financial advisory business is that it's built on relationships and trust. Clients don't just hire a company, they hire a person. They want to work with someone who understands their needs, their goals, their challenges. Someone who returns their calls, remembers their important dates, and treats their money like it's their own. Marcus had forgotten that fundamental truth. 2 weeks after my termination, I got a call from an unknown number. It was Marcus. Jessica, we need to talk. Hello, Marcus. What can I do for you? You know damn well what you can do for me. You've been talking to our clients. I've been informing them of my departure. Yes, I thought it was the professional thing to do. Professional? You're trying to steal our clients. I'm not trying to steal anyone, Marcus. I simply let them know that I was no longer available to service their accounts. What they choose to do with that information is entirely up to them. You can't do this. Jessica, you have a non-compete clause. Yes, I do. And I'm honoring it completely. I haven't solicited any business from any Meridian clients. I haven't offered my services to anyone. I've simply informed them of my departure. You know what you're doing. I'm protecting myself and maintaining my professional relationships. If you're concerned about client retention, maybe you should have thought about that before you fired me 3 days before my raise. There was a long pause. Jessica, let's be reasonable here. Maybe we made a mistake. Maybe we can work something out. Work something out? Marcus, you made your decision. You decided I was expendable. You decided that saving my salary was more important than keeping the person who built those client relationships. You decided that you could manage those accounts yourself. We could bring you back, full salary, plus the raise. That's generous, Marcus, but I'm not interested. Then what do you want? I want you to honor the severance agreement we both signed. I want you to leave me alone. And I want you to do your best to service those clients you're so worried about losing. You can't compete with us, Jessica. We have resources you don't have. We have a reputation. We have infrastructure. You're absolutely right, Marcus. You have all of those things. What you don't have is the trust of your clients. But I'm sure you'll figure it out. I hung up feeling better than I had in weeks. 3 months after my termination, I started hearing rumors. Peterson Industries was unhappy with their new account manager. Santos Manufacturing was having problems with their quarterly projections. Chen Tech Solutions was frustrated with the lack of responsiveness from their new advisor. Walsh Consulting was considering a change. Blackwood Properties was actively seeking new representation. 4 months after my termination, I got a call from a lawyer. Not Meridian's lawyer, but a client's lawyer. Tom Peterson wanted to know if there was any way to legally terminate their relationship with Meridian before my non-compete expired. I'm sorry, Tom, but I can't advise you on that. You'll need to review your contract with Meridian and determine what your options are. Jessica, I'm going to be straight with you. Working with Meridian without you has been a nightmare. Marcus doesn't understand our business. He doesn't return calls. He's made several recommendations that would have cost us a fortune if we had followed them. We want out. I understand your frustration, Tom, but I can't help you with that decision. You'll need to consult with your legal team. When does your non-compete expire again? September 15th. And if we were to terminate our relationship with Meridian on September 16th, would you be available to discuss handling our account? I smiled. September 16th, I'll be available to discuss new opportunities. 5 months after my termination, I incorporated Martinez Financial Solutions. I didn't advertise. I didn't send out marketing materials. I didn't solicit any business. I simply filed the paperwork and waited. September 15th arrived on a Thursday. I spent the day preparing for what I knew would be a busy Friday. September 16th, my phone started ringing at 8 a.m. Tom Peterson was my first call. Jessica, Peterson Industries would like to terminate our relationship with Meridian Financial Solutions effective immediately and engage Martinez Financial Solutions as our new financial advisor. Maria Santos called at 8:30 a.m. Jessica, Santos Manufacturing has decided to make a change in our financial advisory services. Are you available to discuss taking over our account? David Chen called at 9 a.m. Jessica, Chen Tech Solutions is ready to move forward with Martinez Financial Solutions. When can we start? Jennifer Walsh called at 9:30 a.m. Jessica, Walsh Consulting has decided to make a change. We'd like to engage Martinez Financial Solutions as our new financial advisor. Richard Blackwood called at 10 a.m. Jessica, Blackwood Properties is ready to consolidate all of our financial advisory services under Martinez Financial Solutions. We're talking about significantly expanding the scope of work. By noon, I had signed contracts with all 5 clients, representing over $12 million in annual revenue. Not only had I taken Marcus's top 5 clients, but 3 of them had expanded their services beyond what they had been receiving from Meridian. But the story doesn't end there. Word spread quickly through the industry. Within 6 months, Martinez Financial Solutions had grown to 15 clients. Within a year, we had 25. I hired 3 additional advisors, all of whom were former Meridian employees who had also been downsized after my departure. Meridian Financial Solutions, meanwhile, struggled to replace the revenue they had lost. They hired new advisors, but they couldn't replace the relationships. They offered discounted rates to try to win back clients, but it was too late. The damage was done. 2 years after my termination, I received a call from a headhunter. Meridian was looking for a new vice president of client relations. They were offering a substantial salary and benefits package. The headhunter wanted to know if I might be interested. I politely declined. 3 years after my termination, I read in the industry newsletter that Marcus Hendricks had been terminated from Meridian Financial Solutions. Apparently, the company had decided to make some budget cuts. I felt a moment of sympathy for him, but it passed quickly. Today, Martinez Financial Solutions manages over $45 million in client assets. We've won several industry awards for client service and innovation. We've been featured in financial publications as an example of how personalized service can compete with larger firms. And yes, I'm making significantly more than that $50,000 raise would have provided. People often ask me if I planned the whole thing from the beginning. If I knew when I made those first phone calls that I would end up taking all of Marcus's top clients, the truth is, I didn't. I was just trying to maintain my professional relationships and protect my reputation. But sometimes, the universe has a way of rewarding people who treat others with respect and punishing those who don't. Marcus taught me an important lesson that day he fired me. He taught me that loyalty is a two-way street. He taught me that relationships matter more than corporate hierarchies. He taught me that sometimes the best thing that can happen to you is being forced to bet on yourself. He also taught me that if you're going to fire someone, you better make sure they can't take your clients with them. I never did thank him for that lesson. Maybe I should send him a card. The last time I saw Marcus was at an industry conference 6 months ago. He was working for a smaller firm, managing accounts for clients I'd never heard of. He saw me across the room and started to walk over, then thought better of it. I was surrounded by my team, discussing strategy with our newest client, a $5 million technology company that had just terminated their relationship with their previous advisor. Their previous advisor worked for Marcus's new firm. Some habits die hard. As I watched Marcus retreat to the other side of the room, I couldn't help but smile. Not because I was vindictive, but because I was grateful. Grateful for the lesson he had taught me. Grateful for the fire he had lit under me. Grateful for the opportunity he had given me to prove that I was capable of more than I had ever imagined. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing that ever happened to you. Marcus fired me 3 days before I got my $50,000 raise. So I took his top 5 clients and built a multi-million-dollar business. I'd say we're even,